Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for what we hope will be an informative but informal webinar on the RDA Europe grants for the early career and the experts that are interested in taking part in the 15th RDA plenary that will be held in Melbourne, Australia. My name is Timea Bairo. I work for the Digital Repository of Ireland, and I'm joined today by my colleague Ilaria Fava from Göttingen State and University Library. We'll try to give you an overview of the European grants, but just to get us started, I'd like to point out a few logistics and housekeeping points. We are currently recording this webinar, and will be made available online in a short period of time over the upcoming days. For now, all the participants are in listen-only mode, but we'll try to open that up later on for more interactive discussion. So please keep your questions. We hope there will be a good, very practical discussion after we'll present the overview. So this first bit of the webinar before the questions and answers section will be, as I mentioned, dedicated to providing you a quick overview of the two programs that we're going to talk about today. The two programs that are open for the 15th RDA plenary that will be held in Melbourne, Australia. I'm trying to make the slides work. Let's see. Yes. So this is the agenda for this webinar. So we're going to talk about the early career grants program and the expert grants program. We're going to try to give you an overview of the programs themselves, who can apply, the evaluation and selection criteria, and Ilaria will kindly provide us with the financial details for each of the program. Then we're going to take questions if you have any particular points that have not been addressed during the webinar. So we're going to start with the early careers program. This has been a program that has gone on for a few times over the past years. We have been supporting participation to the plenaries. As I mentioned, this is dedicated to the early careers, to the early career researchers and scientists working with different types of data from various disciplines. The call is currently open on our platform grants.rd-alliance.org. This program will support 7 early careers to take part in the plenary, and there are a few expected outputs from both the participants as well as from the program itself to support the project that we are working on. See, okay, so when we talk about the early careers, we talk about researchers that are currently engaged in a bachelor's, master's, or PhD and postdoc studies. Very important, as it is one of the criteria for the program. They need to be enrolled in at an institution that is currently located in one of the EU member states or associated countries. You can find on our platform a link to the Horizon 2020 manual that explains which are these countries. So that provides you with a little bit of information if you have any doubts about the provenance or this eligibility criteria. Also, we are very keen to have applicants whose studies are connected to RDA recommendations and outputs, or are in any way able to provide support for the working and interest groups that are currently working under the RDA umbrella. We have a few other criteria that are connected to the early careers profiles. in order to make the applications eligible. And by that, we talk about things like not having previous winners to reapply to especially consecutive programs. It is also important for them not to have other grants such as the expert at the same time, or to be an RDA ambassador. We are also very keen on making sure that there are no conflicts of interest, so the process is not open to any of the members of the RDA governance bodies or the people working on the RDA Europe project. I've mentioned eligibility criteria. We also have very precise, but at the same time quite generous, I would say, criteria for the evaluation and the selection of the grantees. This will be done based on their candidates' profile, areas of interest, and the relevance of their work for the RDA in general. They need to have proficiency in English and also have a good understanding of the RDA, of the European data infrastructures landscape. The different criteria have a specific weight which is visible on the slide that I'm currently presenting. It's also very important for you to check out the application form that is available online. So then you can actually see which are the questions that you need to answer and how these will be incorporated in the evaluation and selection criteria. Okay, let's see. Yes, we have also additional evaluation and selection criteria which don't have a specific weight, but these are priorities in terms of the goals of the project that we are working on. These regard obviously a good geographical and gender distribution across the European countries, and from that point of view, this specific set of grants program has been focused on promoting a good geographical balanced distribution of the grants. That's why we're particularly encouraging applicants from the EU 13 countries to come forward, as this is the final round of grants that the project will be giving, and we would like to make sure that people from the EU 13 countries are also going to join the RDA, and the work that the RDA is doing will be relevant in their own specific countries. Now we're gonna go through the financial contribution and the different aspects that are related to that, and I'll pass on to Ilaria, who's gonna provide us with a little bit more details on that.
Thanks, Timea, and welcome to everybody. So the interesting part, I mean, apart from the scientific aspects of joining an interesting conference like the RDA plenaries, is the financial contribution to the grants. So as Timea already mentioned, we are offering 7 grants of maximum 2,400 euros each for covering or at least supporting your travel expenses to get to Melbourne. So what I would like to make clear is that the grant is quite generous, although it might not cover the entire amount of your disbursement. So we'll try to accommodate as much as we can. And so you will see that the grants include the reimbursement. So reimbursement mean, just to clarify this, because we experienced a few misunderstandings in previous grants, that you will pay in advance, you or your institution, if they are eager to do that. So yeah, you will pay in advance, and after the meeting, after the plenary meeting, you will ask for reimbursement. There's no other way we can do it. do that because of the university internal rule. So the grant will cover all the transportation means to Melbourne and to and from the conference venue in economy fare. There will be a maximum 5 nights accommodation granted in Melbourne, and the amount per night has to stay within the budget limits that we have as the University of Göttingen. So it's 158 euro per night, excluding the breakfast. Then the grants cover also the conference fee, so the early bird rate conference fee. And we already got a few questions about how is that possible. So don't worry, in case you are interested and you apply and you are selected, you will receive a discount code to use when registering so that you are entitled to pay for the early bird rate. Also, the grants include the costs for taxis if the public transportation is not available. This means, for example, if your flight is very early in the morning and you need to take a taxi to get to the airport, that's included. We are not able to reimburse any daily allowances. And as I said in the very beginning, the cost will be reimbursed based on original receipts for everything. So this means that we will need the bus tickets in case you are taking the bus, the train tickets, and so on. And if you have any further questions after the Q&A session at the end of the webinar, you can reach us at the address that's on this slide, so that we can easily and very happily answer to your questions.
Thank you very much, Ilaria. How to apply? We hope that this slide provides you with all the necessary information. So if you go on the grants platform, the one that I've mentioned earlier, and you can find the links on the slides, you will find the page dedicated to the open call. There you have a button right at the bottom where after you've gone through all the information that is available there, you can submit your application to the open call. The process is quite straightforward. It is online, everything's online. You will have to answer a few questions, and you will have to provide obviously a curriculum to support your application. Please note that you can save also draft versions of this. So if you want to go back to your application, you can always do that, but make sure you click the button submit once you are ready to do that. The deadline to apply for the grants is the 3rd of February, 5 p.m. Central European time, and we hope to have the outcomes ready by the 21st of February, which will give you more or less a month's time before the actual meeting that will be held in Melbourne. Unfortunately, the time frame between the plenaries this time at least has been really short, and by requirements of the processes of the European Commission, the open call will be held for 3 months, will be open for 3 months. So there have been a few requirements that unfortunately have shortened the period that is available between the results and the actual event. So, but we, as Ilaria mentioned, we are keen on supporting you in as many ways as possible to facilitate this for your participation and the travel to Australia.
Can I add something
yes, please.
to that before we pass on? So just a note that if you already have an account on the RDA website, you will be requested to register a new account on the grants platform, just out of clarity.
Yes, that's very useful, Ilaria. So please note that there are 2 websites. There is the RDA Global website, which is rd-alliance.org, And then we have the grants platform, which is specific to the European grants, which is grants.rd-alliance.org. So, and as Ilaria mentioned, you would have to register separately for the grants platform and set up an account with all your details in order to apply for the grants. Okay. We're going to pass on to the experts program, which is very similar to the early careers program, but it supports a different category of participants and contributors to the Research Data Alliance. In this case, as mentioned before, there's as well an open call available on the grants platform. We are going to support experts to participate to the plenary, and this is the fourth round of calls under this grant. The expert profile, as you can see, there are a lot of bullet points, but they're not that you will see that they're very easy to take, especially if you have been a member of the RDA and have contributed to the activities of the Research Data Alliance. As there are different dimensions to working with this international organization, it's all about making contributions. It's all about making sure that you are able to implement whatever has been developed during your work with the Research Data Alliance. It's all about exchanging ideas. It's all about making progress on different data solution. It's about making an active contribution to the data community, either in the European aspects of it, which might be connected to the European Open Science Cloud, the FAIR movement, or the general European Open Science agenda, or it is about the overall global community that is supporting the Research Data Alliance. As a specific requirements, when we talk about experts profile under the European grants platform programs, we talk about experts or practitioners that reside or work in one of the EU member state or associated countries. Just like in the case of the early careers grant, there is a link on the grants platform where you can review this information to make sure that you are eligible. There are, as in the case of again the early careers, there are a few additional criteria just to make sure that there are no conflicts of interest and there is a good distribution of the grants. In terms of the evaluation and the selection, the system is very similar to the other grants program. It just the criteria, as you can see, is slightly different. It's got a different weight. In this case, we are looking for applications that make a strong statement in terms of commitment to the work and the vision of RDA. We are looking at applicants that have been active, not necessarily only under the umbrella of the RDA, but in general active in the data community. And that's why through the application form, you will be required to fill in a little bit of information and give overview of your previous activities and explain how you plan on to make the most of the grant that is being provided. Again, we are also looking at a balanced geographical distributions of the grants across the European regions. That's why we are strongly encouraging applicants from the EU 13 countries. These are listed in case this particularly applies in your case. Again, I'll pass on to Ilaria for the financial contribution note. I think there was a mistake on the previous slide. There are 5 expert grants, not 7. We have 7 early careers and 5 expert grants. Sorry, I had to make that that note. Ilaria, if there are other details that you'd like to share, thank you.
Thanks. So basically the same conditions that I already explained for the early career researchers also apply to the experts. And yeah, and as Timea mentioned, there are 5 grants, not 7. And I think that that's it, basically. I mean, unless you have specific questions from these different perspectives, yeah, we can discuss that later.
Okay. Thank you, Ilaria. Again, how to apply the details and the application form are available online. The same deadlines apply, and the application form is available on the grants platform. If you have any questions, you can use the function in the GoToWebinar control panel for asking questions. We're going to try to. You can also try to raise your hand. We'll see if that functionality might work. We are happy to look into that. There are other ways as well to contact us. On each of the program pages, you can find a box to ask a question, or there is an email as well that is available, grants@europe.rd-alliance.org, where you can ask your questions if you think that you are better off putting everything in writing. We welcome either way. It's absolutely fine for us if you feel the need to reach out and things are not as clear as you might have hoped. Okay, so we're gonna see if we have any questions. Let me see. We do have a question. This is very specific to someone who is not, I think, located, based on the information provided, is not located is not working for an organization that is located in the European countries or any of the associated ones. Again, that's a very strict eligibility criteria because it's a question of the funds that are being provided by the European Commission. So this is a very specific requirement, and unfortunately, if you're not located or work in at an organization that is based in Europe or in the associated countries, you are not eligible for the grants. And this is valid for both the early careers and the expert grants. So guess unless there are any missing details in your question, the answer would be that you are not eligible, unfortunately. Do we have any other questions? Let's see. Okay. Someone is asking how many applications are typically received for each of the category. It actually depends based on the actual destination of the plenary. We do receive many more applications when these are outside Europe, because it's a little bit more difficult to travel and to get funds for conferences or events that are outside European countries. But no need to worry about competition. Just fill in that application and well, give it a try. It's not a very complicated process, as I've mentioned. There are questions that are related to your activity, to the studies that you're currently enrolled in, especially for the early careers. You can save it as a draft, as I mentioned on the platform, so there are no issues if you want to return and update that, and you're still you have plenty of time to submit the application. So don't worry, give it a try. We are very interested in having especially early careers join the organization, and they have been a focus of many activities of the research data alliance. There is actually also an early career engagement group, interest group that is focused on providing additional support to students, postdocs, PhD students, etc., to help them get into the wider data community and understand what other more senior scientists and researchers are doing, and get a feeling of where the community is moving towards. Okay, we don't have any additional questions, and I see no raised hands. I will, though, give you a little bit of more time to come forward with any questions, and I would like to just let you know that both of the programs have though minor requirements in terms of contributions in return for the financial support that is received for travel. In the case of the early careers, the selected candidates will have to present a poster and also write a blog about their experience at the plenary. So these are two things that we strongly encourage successful applicants to provide. It's a good exercise for them as well, and we're also trying to put them in touch with any of the interest or working groups that have meetings during the plenary. That means that we're going to introduce them to a group of chairs and help them establish connections. And if they would like to take part in the meetings and take minutes or do other supporting work for the working or interest groups, they're more than welcome to do so. In the case of the experts, in return for this financial support for travel, they will be kindly requested to provide a report of their activity at the plenary, which we think should not be too difficult. Many of these reports are available online on the RDA global website under the blog section. So if you're curious to see what other early careers or experts have said about their experience at the plenaries via the grants programs that we have available, then that's a place where you can go and read more about it. We have another question.
Sorry, I just put a link to the blogs into the chat.
Thank you very much, Ilaria. Okay, this is just additional information to a previous question. Again, it's a very strict criteria of eligibility. If you're not located in one of the EU countries or associated countries, unfortunately, you are not eligible for the grants. Let's see if there might be any questions in the chat. No, there's just Ilaria's link. We do have another one. This is a question of more of well, in terms of time. Someone is saying that they have a full-time job in addition to their PhD. No, this would not be an issue for us. We assume that that's only enriching your PhD your PhD experience, hopefully, and they support each other. For us, it's just a question of your time, obviously, because of the time required for you to take part in the conference. So if you have a good agreement with your obviously with your employer, and participation to the plenary would be beneficial to you as well, then on our side there are no problems. So if you're doing your PhD part-time, it's still you're still enrolled in higher education program, and you meet the eligibility criteria. So please feel free to apply. Okay, you're more than welcome. We just can't thank you as well through the through the questions panel. Okay, so again, I'll try to remind you of the different ways you can get in touch with us. So there's an email address, grants@europe.rd-alliance.org, where you can contact us, and we will work quite prompt, because there's a group of us answering any questions that come through the email that I've mentioned. So please feel free to drop us a line if you have any specific situation that you think requires more detail. If not, feel free as well to use the ask your question function on the grants platform. Questions that have been previously raised and answered are available on the platform through the frequently asked questions section. So give that a look as well. There might be some answers that would be relevant for you in there. We thank you very much for your time. I see that there are no additional questions. Do let us know, and we hope to see many applications come in. This is, we hope, a very useful experience for both early careers as well as experts, and it's additional support to establish a good connection with the Research Data Alliance, which is providing all sorts of very useful solutions for the technical and the social bridges that you might have when dealing with data. Thank you very much, and hope you have a good day. Bye.
Bye.